Welcome to Dad Podcast, episode 2. Somehow we have not been canceled yet. That's right away. That's great.
It's because you edited out all my creativity.
I think that speaks volumes to my editing more than it does anything else. I'm Jay Chadwell, your host. With me, as always, Logan Hayslip. Usually I start the topics, or I did during episode 1, but Logan wants to hit it with the first topic. I'm terrified. Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, first of all, we should do a Patreon exclusive non-edited version. I guarantee once people pay for that, you're never going to want to listen for free. Number 2, I thought this was like something like me and you would like float around many years ago. We bought equipment together. Like I was just like, oh man, this
I'm
is
using
me
the
and Jay
microphone right now. That microphone that we bought.
I'm like, listen, this is me and Jay against the world. Like I'm so ready for it. And then on Friday, welcome to their whatever day. I see, welcome to the Friends Talking About Friends, and I didn't realize that I was a part of a podcast network that Jay had started. I was ready to go to 2-a-days. Like, I was enjoying the first one and stuff, or not 2-a-days, but 2 a weeks. Enjoying the first one. I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm a very small piece of a larger world here. I thought this was me and you against everybody. And then, here it goes. And you freaking see Calvin's giant head talk about. And I don't know how that podcast's ever going to work, because I could see Calvin just being way too deferential to you, and it'd just be a podcast of Jay was like, and then Chandler he said this, and then Calvin just goes like this, and that's the podcast. So I'm now at war with the Friends on Friends, talking about Friends, whatever the stupid name is.
How does that even work? You literally work with me on this, but you're at war with me on the other one. I am going to go so above and beyond to carry you, to put you in my backpack, to make this the greatest show ever, that the other show in like 4 months, that will not be a thing anymore. So you've got me so committed now because of, I thought we had a special thing, and turns out it's not that special. So I what you're telling me is my actions have upped your level to what they were going to be already.
Listen, I wasn't really happy with my performance in one, I got to be honest. I don't like to get that sentimental. I don't like to talk about serious topics. People want serious topics, go watch CNN. That's not what we're here for. We're here to make people laugh. God has gifted Jay with a hilarious haircut to start. So we start there, and we just try to raise the bar.
Dude, I told you, this is like when Meg saw our first podcast, before she even like as soon as she turned it on, she's like, why didn't you do something with your hair? Like immediately just begged
Jay,
me
but
down.
You guys have been married for a while. Has this not been like a 5-year? Actually, I think I remember the first time I saw your hair in its new way. It was at your wedding, and I was like, so is this like something he was trying for the wedding? And many years later, we're still here. And as much as I'm not trying to shit on my friend here, but I mean, I'm just, I feel like
don't understand how you come at me with a neck beard. That's what I don't get.
Listen, it's been a little... Well, listen, when you get as fat as I've gotten, as fast as I've gotten, it's like you can either just have 70 chins, or you can hide it as well as you can. And, I already have this spot, I don't know if people can see it, doesn't grow in, and it makes it look like the chin is worse than it is. Even, it doesn't matter what I do. I have the most redneck beard in the entire world. It's terrible. I would love to be able to grow, a thick, manly, good beard, but no, this is horrible. And by the way, it's actually not that far down my neck. It's actually pretty trim, and it just looks far down my neck because I don't have a neck. Because all the fat, I'm just a head with shoulders.
Like Benzino. Like Eminem said about Benzino.
I don't know who that is, and I don't remember when Eminem said that, but it sounds correct. I was thinking more like Tim Hayslip. Sadly, the only thing as I keep growing older that separate me and my dad are that I have hair and he's bald. That's the only thing that is really separating the two of us. So, shout out Hoggy. I know you're going to watch
tomorrow.
this.
Next week I'll be shaved on the side. That's what I've been doing, but I don't like haircuts. I don't like sitting in a chair.
So
it's such a weird thing.
So it's so funny you say that. So this is actually a really good story.
So this is where this clip is going to now start. Right.
That's a
Patreon.
Marked. That's a Patreon exclusive.
I have it marked for like bloopers for if and when we ever become big that we can just...
No, because that's how you get canceled. That's how you get Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis got hired onto SNL, and then everybody went back in his podcast once it got announced, and they canceled him because he was saying things that were inappropriate.
I didn't realize he got canceled yet. I knew
he got
it was
canceled.
coming.
No. He got canceled way back, like a couple years ago. I'm talking like 4 years ago. He got hired onto SNL, and then they went back because he was doing podcasts before SNL, and he hadn't even started on SNL yet. And they went back, found where he had said some racist slurs, some homophobic slurs, and stuff like that. And then he never even got to start SNL. 4 years later, they're asking him to come back and host because they need him more than he needs them.
Right.
Yeah. So
I knew that he got fired from SNL, but I didn't know the story. So
I'm just trying to fast track the process. Like, he got way more famous after he got canceled. So if we get canceled in like episode 2, fast tracks the whole process.
Dude, I got some good stuff. I don't think there's any cancelable stuff, but why I love you and why I think this is an important part of having you as my co-host is you can take just normal stuff and make it just so insane.
Thank you. Thank you. I take it. Look, I live life. I am an extremely passionate human being. Like, I love people. I love life.
Well, what we've said forever is, like, few people are as passionate about anything as you are about everything.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And it's also why people, maybe this should only be once a week, because if people got, like, 3 of these a week, they'd be like, all right, I'm so done.
It's like Jess in high school.
Oh, yeah. It's like we'd spend 2 weeks together every single day, and he was like, listen, like, not this weekend, man. Like,
Logan, weekend, please.
Yeah, it's like me and my my wife when we first got together, we first moved into with each other, and, you know, when you first move in with somebody, you are completely stuck up each other's butts. It's the worst thing in the world. It was just nice, and then you just get so tired of it, and it's like...
Yeah, wait till your wife sees this.
Oh no, dude, she's gonna love this story. She's gonna love this story. One day, she's coming home from work, and I'm sitting there playing video games and stuff. She's like, "Well, what do you want to sit down and watch today?" And I was like, "Honey, I just want to play video games and not do anything. Like, leave me alone." And she's like, "Oh, thank God, I'll go upstairs and watch my shows." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna marry this girl." Like, that was it. And he was like, "She don't want to deal with me. I don't want to deal with her. It's a match made in heaven." Clearly, that's the spark.
Dude, I have said several times to, like, Megan, Jess, said it to you and Emily. Mm-hmm. Emily has to be the strongest individual that I know. To be married to you and put up with your shenanigans every day of her life is unbelievable. She's the strongest individual I know, and it's I don't even know who close number 2 would be.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, there's some personal trauma that has been built because everyone in my life keeps saying this. And I'm just like the older I get and, like, you know, more accomplished I become, and, you know, I see a lot of bad dads. I'm a pretty good dad, and I see all this. Listen, I'm not the man she married today. She got a raw deal on that one. But listen, to be fair, I was perfectly honest with her. I'll never forget, it was 2 months before we got married. I sat down on the steps in our beginner, where we moved in our apartment. I said, listen, you leave right now, we call this whole thing off. But I promise you, like, I know a lot of women, like, expect men to change and to grow. What you're getting now is, like, it. Like, I'm not going to grow up. I'm not going to become more mature. Like, I'll be a really good father, and I'll try, and, like, all this stuff, but, like, I am who I am. If you're okay with living with this me forever, then we can move forward. But if not, like, no hard feelings, we'll go our separate ways. Like, it's, you know, it is what it is, I understand. And she's like, no, I love you now and I'll be with you forever. And then I changed for the worse significantly over that time. So,
I think that's commendable by you to be upfront. Like, this is it. Like,
what else? Like, people are not, like, in my job, I have to be very, very blunt and honest. And working in a professional workplace and working in the environment I do, the biggest problem is that you cannot just tell people exactly how you're feeling in a professional way, honest way. You're always afraid to step on toes and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I can't do it. Like, I only know straight, blunt honesty, and I think it's a good way to live life. Not everybody would agree, but I just believe in being overly honest.
No, I get that. It's like the honeymoon phase or the first date. Like, you were always going to put your best foot forward. Like, on the first date. You're not going to be who you truly are on the first date.
My wife
I feel
knows.
like you are. Like, I feel like you're.
Like, hold on, this is either gonna fail now or we're gonna fail in a couple months.
Why waste people's time?
Yeah,
Why waste people's time? I respect it.
Yeah, like
I fully respect it.
My wife knows that I was with another girl the first time we ever texted. Like, it was like, it is how it is. Like, why are we gonna try to lie about it? I'm very, very honest. So.
All right, with that being said, let's roll into some sports first.
I'm just saying, that 13 minutes, if you left it unedited, gold. Gold, but here we go.
There's a lot I can leave unedited. That very first...
I don't... See, the thing that you don't want to unedit, like, I think I addressed that as well as you can. You can either talk about those things or you can't.
I agree that you address it as well as you can. You just can't address it.
Why? This goes against...
Okay, just once we get to this monetized stage,
then you want to lose it. Then you want to lose it. You want to wait until we get big.
Then you want to be canceled.
So you're pulling the relationship changer. You're buttering them up with the first date, bringing roses, opening car doors. My wife can open her own car door. I got news for you. Like, and then we're gonna get 6 months in, and you're gonna pull the rug out, and we're.
That was such a good metaphor there. Like it was unbelievable.
It's come full circle.
That was unbelievable.
Thank you. Yeah, and nobody's ever gonna know what we're talking about because you're gonna cut the part out.
It's on the blooper reel. Don't worry about it. Okay. So, do you know what this is? Can you tell what that is?
Looks like a man with his hair, a Hydro Flask. Oh, yeah, that's a Hydro Flask.
So, Stanley is the big one. Have you seen those Stanleys with the Starbucks? Like, they did, like, a collaboration?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These things, well, the Stanleys sell for, like, $50 for a 40-ounce.
It's ridiculous.
Of the tumbler.
Sorry, I'm walking. There's something cold going on in my house right now.
The StockX, or eBay, however you want to sell it on that secondhand market, was selling the Stanley and Starbucks collaboration for over $200 on a $50 purchase.
You've got to be like, if you buy a cup for $200, I bought a lot of stupid things. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I agree. I agree. Buying something like that, but my point to that is, I did appreciate it. Like, I feel like, okay, well, the hype's there. But Meg doesn't like the Stanleys because they have like a lead bottom or something like that. So obviously we break things a numerous amount of times. There you go. There you go. See, yeah,
$50. $50.
That's the same idea. But my point to this is I did get one of these this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Is
a Hydro Flask and a Stanley the same thing?
Yeah. Really, just different brand. I've drank more water this weekend than I ever have in my life.
So
and I don't know what the mindset is, but like this is my third full of water already.
So I have it's not this, it's bigger. It's a Yeti with like another replaceable one with like a handle on top that I keep at work, and I probably drink like 3 or 4 of those a day. I'm currently, this would be good to hold me accountable. I'm currently going on a diet. I started today. I'm doing carnivore, which I've done carnivore in the past and had a lot of good success with it. So, there is one terrible thing about carnivore that will be happening to me probably starting tomorrow. Have you ever done carnivore?
No. It's funny that you say that, though. Go ahead. I'll tell you the diet I just got off of.
So, carnivore, the big actually thing that I found when I did it before is just a lack of inflammation in your body. Like, I was having, like, plantar fasciitis issues in my feet.
In your feet?
And literally after doing, like, a week of carnivore, it was gone. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but it was like, ow, this hurts to walk, and then it was gone. And it's just such a lack of inflammation. You get a lot of brain fog. It does make you poop terribly for a good amount of time at the beginning because there's just no fiber. Everything runs through. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I think if I was like, of all like the different fad diets and stuff like that, that is by far. And it's easy for me because it's like, who can't just cook up a steak, like, or who can't just cook up chicken? Like, I have a little recipe I do. It's like super simple, but you literally just cut up chicken breast into like chicken nugget type stuff, put in a little bit of olive oil with some good seasoning, and it's like, just have little bites of chicken. You know,
so is it just meat?
It's literally just meat, water. That's it. Like, you could do eggs, you could, like, anything that is just, like, animal protein. You can do fish, anything like that. You can eat as much meat as you want. The idea is, like, if you think about it, there's no sugar, there's no carbs, and I am a huge carnivore. Actually, I was going to try to order them for this diet. There's these things that I order. People either love them or hate them. They're called carnivore snacks. And it's literally, like, they take a steak, they dehydrate it, they add salt, and it's, like, jerky, but it's not, but it's like the healthiest thing you could have. Sorry to go off on my diet random tangent there.
No, I just got off of, like, because you've coached. I mean, you get during season how bad you eat coaching. Especially, and I mean, the college basketball is even worse because you got recruiting on top of games, so you are just eating out all the time. So for some reason, I came up with, like, I'm just going to eat fruits and vegetables and nothing else. And I don't know why I wanted to do that, but I did it for a week.
How'd you feel?
I didn't feel terrible. Like, I could tell, like, I didn't have as much energy. Like, I don't feel like I got quite as much nutrients as I needed, but I didn't feel awful. Like, I felt healthier. But, and then, like, to celebrate, I only did it for a week. Meg and I decided that we were going to go to Texas Roadhouse, so then I get a steak, obviously.
Yep.
Dude, Sunday came around, and I had such a severe pain in my lower intestine that I had to go to the hospital. Like, I threw up from the pain, and I've never experienced pain. Like, even when I tore my ACL, I've never experienced pain that bad. I'm going to laugh at
this. That is what you're doing. Like, I feel bad for you, but it's kind of hilarious.
It is. But, like, I was never been in as much pain as I'd been there. So I went to the hospital, and they said, because it wasn't, like, in the place of, like, kidney stones or, like, appendicitis or anything like that. So he's like, it's just, like, GI tract is, like, messed up or, like, and I don't know if it was, like, a cause and effect
It was that. I have bad news for you.
But I'm like, I'm never doing that again. Up. I'm never doing that again.
I don't know why you thought fruits and vegetables. Well, I mean, vegetables is one thing, but yeah, dude, you went vegan and then you tried to eat a steak. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, dude, I've heard of vegans having heart attacks. Like, my mom told me this story in high school where they had this African exchange student who had never had anything, and he had a Big Mac and he went to the hospital. And it's like, yeah, you're just like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna do that to myself for fun. It's only a week.
Too. It was only a week. It really was.
And meanwhile, all the fruit is just sugar, which at least has dietary fiber. That's the most important thing if you're going to have that much sugar. But for my extensive limited, I know those are counterproductive or counter whatever there. It seems like sugar is just the number one killer. Like sugar in any way, shape, or form.
And salt. A lot of salt in your diet is
not bro. Good. I love me some salt. I love it.
Eating fruits and vegetables without salt was terrible. It was awful.
I always have liquid IV in my water. That's the only area that I will during this carnivore. If I need to, I'll do a 5-hour energy. I got away from even sugar-free Red Bull because sugar-free stuff is just as bad as real sugar. Yeah. But then, dude, I started listening. And it's anything, even the Flintstone vitamins. I'm pretty sure I talked about this on the last one. It has this synthetic B12 in it. Yeah, Flintstone vitamins have a synthetic B12, and I think one of the molecules in the synthetic B12 is hydrogen cyanide. Like the stuff in World War II where they used to bite down on it to kill themselves. It has a molecule of that in synthetic B12, which is even in it's such a minuscule amount, but it's even in Flintstone vitamins that you would give to your kid.
Meg has gone she's gotten us completely organic on things like fruits and vegetables we'll eat, or they're organic, like skincare products. Oh, by the way, drsquatch.com, promo code JAYCHADWEL.
Yeah, my God.
$10 off. Hey, it's worth the plug. But
I'm a big Old Spice guy, personally. Old Spice body wash and Head and Shoulders for men, 2-in-1 conditioner.
Dude, have you seen some of the collaborations that Dr. Squatch has done?
I'd rather talk about your topics. What's your first topic? Please,
why
let's
do you
just
hate
go to
organic soap?
I don't care about soap at all. Soap is
Okay.
never something that enters. Oh
What
my gosh!
about
Please,
organic
can we just go to the
foods?
topic?
No, now
I'm here for.
Now I'm getting you fired up. Now this is what the people.
This is how I'm going to shut down. This is how I'm going to shut down right here. This is it. Yeah, it's great soap. Everybody, Dr. Squatch. They have the coolest collaborations. They have stuff with Marvel. It's so dope.
Dude, quit acting like you don't like Marvel. First off,
Marvel and me have. Well, I was always a DC over Marvel guy, not the movies because the movies suck. But I'm a comic book reader. For those that don't know, I was a comic book collector for a little while, and really, really enjoy comic books to this day and those stories, and find them wildly superior. It's that way with a lot of stuff. Like everybody says, the books are better than the movies. Okay, well, it's the same way with comic books too. Like I read all the Walking Deads. The Walking Dead's so much better than the show. It's like, dude, It's not even. Oh my gosh, The Walking Dead has like some of the coolest stuff that is so different, and the show just kills it. It's like the best scenes that you can think of in The Walking Dead are the ones where they actually pulled it straight from the comics. Like I don't know, did you ever watch that show?
dude? Not only did I never watch that show, and this might shock you, might not. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see based on your reaction. You usually don't hide things very well. I have never read a comic book of any type, any kind.
Well, that's just. I feel sorry for you because they are like. I think I think people get a. Like, The Walking Dead comics, for example, are, like, one of the most graphic read you could ever have. Like, there's some terrible, disgusting things that happen in The Walking Dead, and it's the same with, like, have you seen the show Invincible that's on Amazon Prime right now?
Mm-mm.
It's a fantastic comic book show, which you should watch immediately. It's basically like, what if superheroes were real in our real world, and what if Superman, like, was not a good guy? And it's like I'm just gonna spoil a thing for season 1 because you're never gonna watch it, no matter what I do. The guy who invented The Walking Dead invented Invincible. So this guy, they call him Omni-Man, right? He's basically
wait, hold on. He was like the producer of the shows, or he wrote. No.
He wrote both comics, and he was a producer on the show as well. So he came up with the Walking Dead universe and this Invincible universe, which the Invincible universe is on season 2 on Amazon. I really think it's amazing. But anyway, so this guy is like Omni-Man. He's like the Superman of our world, right? And there's like another Justice League type characters and stuff like that. And the first episode literally comes where this guy brutally, and I mean with all the gore and all the violence, murders the other Justice League members. And that's how the first episode ends, and you're like, well, what's going on? Why did this happen? Well, he had a son who just turned 17, I think, and he finally got his powers. And basically what you come to find out is that he's lied to everybody this entire time. He is from a race of basically everybody there is Superman. And it has nothing to do with the Yellow Sun, nothing like that. They're just incredibly powerful beings, right? And they send, like, special agents out through to different worlds to weaken them to make it easier for the invasion, because like they spread themselves too thin and the resources and stuff, but they were this massive empire. Anyway, his son, like, he finally tells his son what is getting ready to happen. His son's Invincible, that's his name that he gives himself, right? He's the main character. Also played by Glenn from The Walking Dead. Funny story. Anyway, and his son's like, I'm not going to let you do this. I'm not going to let you do this in the world and stuff. And like, you find out these people live for thousands of years, and he's like, no, your mom, like, I did love your mom, but she's like a pet to me. Like, I live for thousands of years. Like, this world will burn down, and you won't even look 30 yet. Like, they get older, or they slow down their aging the older they get older. Anyway, he beats the piss out of his son. I mean, to the point where he almost kills him. And there's this scene where they're in Chicago, basically. He throws him down into a subway system, and there's a subway car coming. And he holds his son in front of the car. And because they are the two strongest things, the car and all the people and all the guts and all the blood go through and splash on his son's face and on them.
Ew.
Dude, like, but it's like, it is like, if Superman was real, this is what could happen. Like, everybody, like, in a superhero comic, like, Zack Snyder's, or not Zack Snyder, yeah, it was Zack Snyder, the Man of Steel did this really well. It's like, hold on, like, 1 million people just die in Metropolis, which would basically be New York. Like, if two supermen were to fight, it would destroy an entire city, and millions of us would die because our existence is nothing. He's like, no, it's like, he even says it at one point, it's like stepping on ants. Like, that is what we are to them, and if that type of level of creature existed in our world, what would it look like? And it's very interesting. It's very compelling.
Dude, do you feel like, not that there's like...
That wasn't a good segment, by the way. You should never let me go that long again on a specific thing like that. Edit that out. I could feel people falling asleep. And I was like, I felt you falling asleep. I'm pretty sure I blacked out. So,
do you feel like there are other intelligent life forms out in the universe?
100%. And I've become sold lately with all the video and stuff. I've never been more certain. And honestly, it is not... That's funny, and once again, I'm going down a direction that I do not want to go in this podcast. No. I don't think this is edit. This is not an edit. This is just something.
Another drug on story.
No, it's too serious of a thought process. Because I can only comprehend what I know, and I know human behavior, right? I am much more interested once it is official that this is a thing, how it affects human beings, and then for me, as someone who grew up very religious and taught Sunday school and was very involved in the church, I want to see how it affects religion, in particular, people's belief in anything once we have discovered something like that. I do not want to get into this on that podcast at all, in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to go ahead and call timeout. First topic, like, because it just goes into this wanting to be a fun podcast, and that is, we should have two, actually, so we should have one a week where I just get to go serious, and then a second one where we dive into stuff like that, because there's two great sides of me, clearly. One is meant to be very funny, and one is meant to, well, listen, a man can only be so much. You know.
I'll move on to the sports, but I will, just before we, like, with all that we've learned and all the galaxies in the universe and all the stars, like, I don't see how it's possible that we're alone. It doesn't make sense that there's nothing else out there.
Yeah.
Like, that's why, I agree. It would be, like, whenever that happens, that the alien life form is found, it'll be a crazy day for sure.
Does it change your opinion on religion or God?
No, not
Simple
mine.
yes or no. Okay, no. Okay, that's all. That's it.
Not mine at all.
Yep.
So let's roll sports.
Okay.
NCAA 1 seeds and 2 seeds both survived this weekend. They're in the
You know how many brackets I filled out?
0, I'm sure.
You know how many games I watched?
0. But do you know who the biggest upset was this weekend?
I think it was Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky got beat.
Oh, okay. Hey, I will take a great joy in this because UK fans, I grew up with a lot of you, and I hate every single one of you. I hate Kentucky, and I hate Calipari. This is a perfect example of a great recruiter not being a great coach. And I will give Calipari the credit. It is much harder today because what has happened is so many guys are one and done that all these other really, really talented guys are going to mid-major schools and they stay there. So, like, if you're a top 60 player in the country, you're probably not going to the NBA. You're just not going to the NBA. So if you have a school that is great mid-major that can get, 10 guys who are all 60 between 200, basically, and they all stay for a couple years, like, you're literally... I remember physically how different I felt at 22 compared to 18. And granted, for the first time in my life, I'd gotten into weightlifting, and I really trained and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they're doing that for 4 years. Because that's part of their program.
Exactly. And it's, I really think there's only a couple ways to fix it. One, I think NIL has really destroyed a lot. Not saying that the kids shouldn't get paid in one way, shape, or form, because I'm also not for that being a free labor. But instead, just let them go to the NBA. Just let them go to the NBA. Like, if I was good enough to go to the NBA, I would never go to college. I would 100% go to the G League or go over.
You're missing the big picture here, because the NIL main sport is what?
Football.
Yeah, you can't send 18-year-old kids to the NFL.
No. Time out. European soccer is where this is done really well. And it's kind of what the NBA is trying to do with the G League. Like, you're playing against other...
Which Ignite is not going on. You know that, right?
What do you mean?
Ignite, like the G League Ignite is like their top prospects. That's not happening anymore. They're canceling that team.
Well, that's a damn shame, and I hate to hear that. But it should be like a club. It should be like a club program, the same way like Messi was playing with Barcelona when he was like 10.
Yeah,
like you
almost go to school for soccer. Football. Yeah, European football. I get that,
but that's what you have. That's what it has to be, in my opinion, to work properly. And I think. I don't know what the age you start. Maybe it's like 16, and to be in this league, it's like 16 to 21, right? And if they ever want to call you up, you can get called up. But I think baseball does this. They have the minor leagues, for example. I just think if I want to be an NBA player, I'm still going overseas. You want to know why I'm going overseas? I'm going to go to the best possible team overseas. Because I want it to be, if my job is going to be basketball, I don't want to go to classes. I want to eat, sleep, live, train basketball. I want to have people around me that are only involved in basketball. And I'm not saying like people shouldn't go to school, people shouldn't get educated. That's the farthest thing from the truth, because then you're put in a position where people are, broke and they're 35 and stuff like that. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all. And it's also great to have things to fall back on. But I just think if I was Victor Wembanyama, for example, but I was from the United States, and it was given I could go to, which I thought the G League was a thing, or
G League still is a thing. I'm saying that specific team.
Well, as long as the G League is a thing, because every NBA team still runs a G League team. So it's like I would go to any single one of those. Like that would be my deal. Like I'd be like, who wants to have first dibs? Like, let's go. Like we could get into another conversation about how salary caps and stuff like that are anti-capitalistic, which is probably the only way to make a competitive and fair balance. But yeah, no, I'm 100% going to the G League. It's like I'm going to play against other grown men. It's why Europeans are dominating us right now. Like Luka Doncic was the MVP of the league when he was 18. He's playing against other grown men. And don't even get me started on the mindset of how Europeans play the game versus us, because I'll get sick. American basketball is in a sickening decline, and it bugs me all the time.
Dude, the NBA announced on Thursday that it was shutting down the G League Ignite after only 4 years. So the way Ignite works, which I'm surprised you don't know this, they take the best prospects and they are all on a team together. Yeah, so then they'll travel and play with each other because they're one and dones pretty much in the G League is the mindset there. So it's either college or that, but they're shutting it down because they only went this year. They're 4-28 right now.
So here's my mindset on this. Right, you just allow these guys to enter the draft, and they have to be in the G League, and because every team has a G League team, you have to be in the G League your first year, and maybe that's not even the way to do it. Maybe you just allow them to go, and the G League is a place where not as great players can end up versus college. And that is a decision that you have to make. It's like, well, I could go to college, or I could go to the G League. But the answer is allow them to go. And honestly, there's so few. You've seen less one and dones be successful, I feel like, in the last few years of the NBA than ever before. And I think the game is evolving a lot, and a lot of those guys could just sit in the G League for a year or two. But literally, they're working with the team, so you just use your draft pick on them.
Yeah, I get it, but like, I still don't think that. I think that works for basketball. I do not think that works for football.
Yeah, I don't know another. Yeah,
because you just said, think about your body difference at 22 than 18.
Oh yeah.
Put an 18-year-old quarterback in the NFL. That's a death sentence. Because if he's really good, he's going to be the number one pick.
Yeah, but it's also that team's responsibility to not start him until he's ready.
Oh yeah, people are responsible. You're right.
No. But here's what I'm saying: if you could have drafted, if the Bears could have drafted Caleb Williams or 4 years ago, and just let him sit there, get reps, be working with their doctors and their nutritionists and their strength and conditioning specialists, getting all those reps in practice, do you really think he would be worse off than when he went to USC? He'd probably be better off.
I think he's worse. Game speed matters. Game speed matters. You don't get that in practice, man, and you know that.
No, you're not wrong in that, and I don't know how you replicate that. But everything else except for those games on Saturdays, he'd be better. Yeah. Everything else except for that.
Well, I guess. Once, and we'll get into this too, because, well, we can get into it now. It was going to be later, but the Mega Million is $1.1 billion tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So once you hit that and you have your own league, you can make all these rules.
Well, that ain't enough money to have your own league, and I can promise you.
To start.
No, it's not. And I can promise you one thing right now. There ain't a chance. I'm not doing this podcast. I'm not doing. I have.
Did you
my
have
plans.
to do the podcast? It was like, did Logan or Jay hit the podcast, and then all of a sudden, like, the background's all different. The production's just amazing. Like, no, we didn't hit it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, dude. I'm telling you right now, 1.1 billion cash options, probably like 750 million, means you're taking about 400 million straight cash after taxes. Which, by the way, the people that say you take the yearly amount, go. Like, I have to hold back because I'll just get it edited out. But anyway. You give me $400 million, and you will find out what terrible of a human being I am. Actually, it'd be so great for everybody that likes me and is my friend. And if you're not gonna like me. Like Friendly Meadows Golf Course.
So you're saying $400 million doesn't change anything for people's opinions?
That's a good point. That's a really good point. $400 million. I'm telling you this right now. Friendly Meadows Golf Course, I hate Friendly Meadows with a passion. The people that run that place, I'm not fans of. I've made it very clear, to the point where they know how I feel about them.
Okay.
So, I would literally buy Buttermilk Falls. Hold on, because this is we're going for a ride here. I would buy literally, I've mathed it out. It's like 1,000 acres. Completely, like, when you turn onto Eden and you go all the way around, like, I would buy every inch of ground. I'd buy people out of their homes. I was like, oh, you don't want to move? Here's 5 times your home value. Get out of here. Like, 400 million. Like, get away from me. Like, all the way from where you turn into where Buttermilk is, all the way to where, like, that drive-in gas station used to be, like, the carpet, like, all that stuff. Yeah. I would own all that. Like, thousands of acres, right? And so let's say that cost me $100 million. Probably not. You buy a lot for $100 million. That ground ain't gonna cost me $100 million. Anyway, I'm building a 36-hole. Like, I'm like a high enough level of an awesome place the PGA Tour would want to come play.
Yeah.
Like, I'm putting another 100. So I've spent $200 million. On the other side, where they have the antique machinery show, I'm buying all that too. There's no more antique machinery show. and I'm going to have a tunnel underneath the road unless they'll let me do something over top, which they probably won't. And I'm going to have a hotel and hopefully a casino on the other side. I figure I could do all that for about $350 million. That leaves me with $50 million. And I still have all these assets that if I needed to sell for pennies on the dollar, I'm still set for life. My point is, my first year of opening this golf course, I'm keeping all buttermilk prices the same.
Okay.
Friendly Meadows has disappeared because nobody's going to come golf there. I'm keeping all the prices the same that first year, maybe 2 years, just because I want Friendly Meadows to go away, and it would, and I'd be a happy man.
I don't want to ask why, but speaking of golf, hey,
no,
good segue.
I'll share the story. I went there.
Don't.
No. They did me wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I went there and teed off. I was the first tee. Me and another guy on a Saturday morning were the first two off the tee box.
What time is that?
Like
is that
6:10? No, like 6:10. Yeah, it's summer. Like yeah. So we go around and we don't even play our nine super fast. There's nobody in front of us. We had to wait on hole number 2 because they were still doing something on the green. We finished in like an hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
Not particularly fast.
So you walked it?
No. Whatever. I was playing with a bad guy who was looking for his balls the whole time. Anyway, I go to make the turn, and they were like, you can't go and tee off for another 2 hours.
2 hours?
Which is, by the way, not how it's supposed to be done. We are making the turn. We're supposed to have the right of way.
Right.
He said, and now I'm looking. There's 12 carts lined up on one. He said, you guys can jump in here real quick if you want. And I'm just like, no, I just played that night. I want to go play that night. He's like, well, we have people going off on the back. And they have this Saturday morning group that comes every Saturday. And he didn't want to mess with that. That's why they don't have morning scrambles there. Because they got this loyal group of like 20 guys that play every Saturday morning.
So he's got regulars.
Correct, but, and this is the thing, this is the big but. Or no, it wasn't 2 hours, but it was like an hour.
Okay.
So they were indicating that a group of 4 should expect to take 5 hours to play 18 holes there, which is an extremely slow round, which they're always been slow, which is why I hate them. They're so snobby. They're like, I play at Stone Lick all the time. Stone Lick was the nicest public course in Ohio for a long time. I've never seen a ranger, never been told. Every time I go to Friendly, it's something. It's ridiculous. They treat it like it's Augusta National. And
hey, what would your golf course be named, by the way? Just
I would keep it Buttermilk Falls in its tradition. As in, yeah, I'm a big fan of tradition.
Would the PGA tournament be called the Hog Open?
Anyway, the guy tells me that, and I'm
Hog
like,
Open too.
We have the Piglet now. The Piglet is our other one. It's our feeder system for the Hog, as all the old guys get out. We're on year 3. We're up to 24 youngins. I'm one of the oldest people. So, anyway, you're invited, by the way, if you'd like to come.
I got to start the Piglet though. Don't give me any.
Yeah, no, you can. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you're invited to the Piglet. I don't have the power. I don't have the power to invite you to the Hog. What I am saying though, anyway,
was that exclusive.
My own dad, didn't invite me for several years. Said I wasn't ready.
That had nothing to do with anything else.
Yeah. Anyway, so I tell the guy, I was like, no, I'll just go give my money back. He was like, well, they probably won't be able to give you your money back. They can just give you a rain check. And I was like, no, I don't think you understand. I want my money because I'm never coming back here.
Right.
And I go in and I took the money and
they didn't give you your money back?
Yeah, they gave me my money back. And
so how do you dislike it? They gave you your money back.
Because here's actually why. I was 1 under at the turn.
So it's a personal vendetta.
Well, also it's just them in general, dude. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like there's a lot of things that make me hate them. That was the tip.
Have you ever tried to have like a nice sit down conversation of like, as a paying customer, these are things I would like to see improve? Or has it always been hated?
After that happened, I was at a scramble, and my dad is sitting in a golf cart with one of his buddies. Yes, because that's the only time I'll go back there. I won't play for nothing else. This guy came up, who's like the guy who runs it, and said, "You know that guy?" And he was talking to my dad's friend, and they were like, "Yeah, I know him." He was like, "He's really saying some bad stuff, and I just wish he would never ever come out here." And my dad was like, "That's my son." and he said, literally, my dad's friend, because he was saying how slow we are and how blah blah blah. Because I wrote a full complaint, and and the guy, my dad's friend, was like, maybe you guys shouldn't be that slow. Like I hate playing there, dude. I will not golf before I go play there.
I wish there was a way to solve that, like, to make that bet, because I would strongly take that bet. If it was not golfing or golfing, you would golf friendly.
You outside of scrambles, because like there's some really good scrambles out there that I like to take place in, and also so outside of scrambles, the only way that I would play out there is if it's a money match and I have an opportunity to make money. Other than that, no. Like a casual round, never. Ever under any circumstance whatsoever.
So casual golf or not golfing, you're not golfing.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Can we get to this segue?
Sure.
I'm tired of hearing about your vendetta with Finley.
Listen, you unleash an animal onto the world, and he's here to talk.
All he said was, what would you do with money? And that turned into, you
a
can't
20-minute
friendly.
Yeah.
Masters in 3 weeks. Who are the 3 favorites early? Do you know them? Or if you have a guess?
Scotty has to be one, especially
Scotty's
with...
top he's at 600 right now, 500.
Yeah, the only thing that was holding him back from going on, I don't want to say a Tiger-esque run, was his putter. Have you ever seen the stats on how much better
he... One.
Wait, you're funny. He did just switch his putter. Did you not know that?
No, I don't follow PGA like you. I follow the 4 majors.
So he switched his putter. He went from, I believe he had a Scotty Cameron. He went to the bigger, thicker, the Spider, the TaylorMade Spider mallet. But he is, if you look at statistically, from tee to green, way better than everywhere else. He's the worst putter you've ever seen. He's horrible. Like, he would literally be first in every category and then last in putting in every tournament and still be right there. Like, he was so good, and he won. What was it? I think it was the Players a couple weeks ago. It's at TPC Sawgrass. It's one of their big non-major tournaments, and he finally could putt. And it was like, if he putts, he is as deadly as anybody we've ever seen post-Tiger. The only... this is the thing. I know who I would be thinking, but I also haven't seen him play, and I guarantee the bookies don't have him that high. Because, one of my favorites going into it would be Brooks Koepka.
I think he was 5th.
And it literally is just because he is... from an accolades, from an award and winning standpoint, the second best golfer since Tiger Woods, or the best golfer since Tiger Woods. What do you mean huge?
He's stocky.
He's 6'1", 6'2". He's just he's a muscular guy.
Yeah, he's a muscle.
Yeah, but he's not like Bryson or anything like that. Like, he didn't get. Yeah. He's probably no stronger and bigger than DJ, for example. DJ's just 6'4".
Yeah.
But he's not known for crushing the ball or anything. I was terribly disappointed when he went to Live. I've not been a big fan of Live. He was my golfer. Oh my gosh, this guy, he doesn't really care about golf. You know what I mean? It's just it's a thing he does, and he just so happens to be so great at it. But he's just such a relentless competitor. I've always wanted Rory to get there. Rory's just never gotten there. He's a great golfer. He'll go down as probably one of the 15, 20 greatest. Yeah, but he shouldn't be, dude. He I didn't want to believe it, but a buddy of mine said it's Rory either will always come out of the gates horrible and then make a late run to make it seem like he was in the tournament to finish a few shots back, which is what he did a few years ago at the Masters. But he just cannot put 4 rounds together, and it's such a shame because Michael Jordan talks about how infuriating it is that he's 6'6" and that Rory is like 4'8" and hits the ball 7 miles. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you talk a little bit in this podcast.
You're good. Scotty 1 at 500. Rory 2 at 1,000. You want to take a stab at third?
John Rahm.
Yeah. He's at 1,300.
Defending champion. Once again, he'd probably have higher odds if he'd been playing and everything, but he made the switch to live too, which, I mean, once again, I think he got like $600 million. It's like, it's a hard thing to say no. I have a harder time saying with the live stuff for the guys who had already made all the money in the world. It's like Phil Mickelson leaving. It's like, he had $500 million in the bank probably. Unless he gambled it all away, which we're slowly finding out. I was like, how much is enough? Is another...
Yeah, that seems to be going around right now.
Yeah, good job, shit. What is the... Can you tell me the Ohtani story?
Apparently, it's his interpreter that's in trouble with some money, gambling money, I believe. I haven't read much about it. But
Fall, man.
It's like, yeah, exactly. That's what they believe. And, dude, baseball is in such a...
terrible place.
Yes, because, like, if they're not one of the top teams, those stadiums are empty.
Dude, I grew up loving baseball, playing the baseball video games, could tell you every player. Vlad Guerrero, I remember. My dad took me to Wrigley Field, and I got to watch Sammy Sosa run out. Me and my dad, when I was 16, went to Yankee Stadium. I was already very out of love with baseball at that point. Here's my thing. Let him take steroids. Let him take steroids. We talked
about this last week.
Well, I'm just saying, I want the biggest muscle bound for, if you're going to get me back in the game, it's Barry Bonds hitting 80 home runs. It's the last time I cared about baseball, when Barry Bonds was hitting 1,000,000 home runs. Even then, I didn't care that much. But it's the last time I cared. Yeah. Yeah, but if there's 20 of them.
Well, I mean, it's funny you say that because, like, right now, the Iowa women are up 3 with 1:15 left. And you know who the big star... You don't watch college basketball, but you know who the big star is.
Matt Clark.
Yeah. If she goes out right now, the ticket sales for the Final Four and the viewership that they have planned...
They will drop from $30 to $10 a ticket. You get front row for like $60.
Dude, do you have any idea how much the Ohio State-Iowa women's game cost on average just to get in the door?
I'm sure more than it's worth.
It was over
like
300.
all sports tickets for what it is.
Oh, and Ticketmaster makes it worse with all the fees.
Oh yeah.
It's like oh, this ticket's $30. Okay, it ends up being $75. It's like
that's
nuts. At this point. But yes,
I'm not trying to disparage women's basketball in any way, shape, or form. I want to make that really clear. I think it's fantastic.
Especially since you have 2 daughters.
Yeah, that's great.
That need role models.
Unfortunately, neither one of them are going to go to the WNBA. Neither one of them are going to play Division I college.
Emily's athleticism, they're in good shape.
They have no chance. They might not get off the couch because they have Emily's athleticism.
Do you want me to edit that out?
No, I'm not scared of that. Tell my wife that to her face. I love her. She's one of the least athletic human beings. She's like, I didn't play sports growing up. I was like, there's a reason. I didn't want you.
You didn't play sports, or they weren't allowed. You weren't allowed to play sports.
Yeah. She was like going out for kindergarten soccer, and they're like, maybe next year.
She's like, so try out as first grader. They're like, no. Come back to kindergarten tryouts.
Yeah. And they turned her away again, and that was the last time she went. No, it was funny. I went golfing over the weekend with Lee Gollenstein, who has 2 girls. One's the same age as Brooklyn. We took Brooklyn out. First thing Brooklyn did, by the way, is hit Lee's daughter in the face with a golf club. So that was great. So I felt horrible. Literally on one tee box. On one tee box. I'm like, we literally just got out of the park. Like, how
did you finish the round?
Oh yeah, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't like she was like swinging hard. She was just like playing with the club and bam, like there's no black eye or anything. I felt horrible. Like I apologized like 70 times, but yeah, no, I felt horrible. But anyway, Lee's older daughter is like extremely competitive, And I literally was just like, I'm doing something wrong as a dad. And I looked right at Brooklyn and I was like, because Brooklyn just so happens to be in this group of girls that have like a ton of really athletic, good dads and stuff like that. Like Chris Burrows was a father, Chris Owens, Lee, Stephen Mason, like a bunch of like athletic people from this area. And I just remember looking right at Brooklyn and I was like, you better be able to get hot coming off the bench, girl. Like, it's kind of
like Logan a Goshen.
He never benched me again. That's all I can say. That's a story for a different day.
Okay, so the draft here. Where are we at? We're about an hour. All right, we got a little bit of time. We got a little bit of time. Yeah, we got some time. Yeah. So
this is how it can get away when I just go.
When you ramble, like all of a sudden I'm like, hey, Logan's starting this story at 45 minutes. Oh, it's an hour and 15.
30 minutes of gold, baby. 30 minutes of gold.
Where did the time go? Okay, since you think you know and I don't know it, your sports, can you name, and you don't have to do it in order unless you want to try that too, the top 10 scores in NBA history?
The top 10, like most points?
Yeah, career points.
Oh, Wilt Chamberlain, obviously with 100.
No. Like career point total.
Oh, career?
Yeah.
Well, LeBron, Kareem, Karl Malone.
Yeah.
Now this is where it gets more difficult.
You don't have to do another.
Kobe.
He's fourth.
I want to say Jordan's like 7.
Jordan's fifth.
Is it 5th? Okay. Man, this is gonna. This would take some real. See, the thing is, when you ask me things like this, I hate to be wrong in any way, so I'm gonna think for way too long. It's gonna be terrible error.
There's one more that's active.
It's not Kevin Durant. No.
Yep.
Is it really?
He's 8th.
Kevin Durant. Curry's not anywhere close, obviously, and he's active. So everybody else is retired.
Correct.
The
other 4. You got 4.
Shaq
is 9th.
Trying to think of guys that played for a long time and scored a lot.
There's another one that is in LeBron's draft class.
If you tell me Carmelo Anthony is a top 10 scorer, wow, he's by far the worst of those 10. I don't even know the other ones, and I'm willing to bet everything against that.
Dude, his field goal percentage is the same as Kobe's.
Congratulations. Won him a lot, didn't it?
Okay, 6 and 7 is what you're missing. You've already said one, but you actually said it. Because you thought we were talking about games. Points in the game.
Oh, Will. Stupid. So stupid.
And then just 6.
Jerry West.
Nope.
I don't know. Who is it?
He is a European player. He went on the most...
Wait. European player?
Mm-hmm.
And wait, when did he play? Like, what... Oh, Dirk. Yeah. You were getting ready to say he went on one of the greatest playoff runs that anybody's ever seen that year that he beat the Heat.
Yeah, most improbable runs is what I was going to say.
No, he beat a very weak-minded LeBron James. If you ever want to go over anytime you want to let me fly for 30 minutes, just say, Logan, LeBron, go. 30 minutes of gold. Skip Bayless is like rolling in his grave that he's never made the points about LeBron James that I would make.
Oh, really?
Oh,
We only have about 20 minutes left, so let's...
roll it back.
Let's save that for another day. Okay, so I thought that the draft was cool last week, our movie draft, so I think that needs to be a segment every week. Okay?
All right.
So this week's segment of draft... And we're going to be able to use a cheat sheet here because I'll leave it up to you. Build your best team of the original 151 Pokemon.
Oh, I don't need a cheat sheet.
You don't need a cheat sheet?
Hell no, I don't need a cheat sheet.
Now, you're not building it against my... Like, I'm not going to pick one, and then you're going to say, okay, what's his weakness?
No, I'm just going to build the strongest 5 you can build, right?
We're going into... What was...
I know it's 6. It's 6.
Yeah, 6. What was the... Yeah, good call. That is great.
Lance,
I would have done 5.
Lance and then Gary are the final 2 trainers. Lance is a dragon type, and Gary had a pretty good mix.
Yeah,
now wait a minute.
What was the like the champions? Like
the Elite Four, I think, or yeah.
Was it the Elite Four? Okay.
Yeah. So hey, hold on a second. Now this is a really good question.
Can I pull them up? Do you care if I pull them up?
I mean, I will too then. But my thing is, like, are we trying to like spread out types? Because or are you just going like
it's up to you.
Man, I don't want to do types because there's like always a counter one way or another.
I agree. So that's why I'm saying you're not trying to fight against me. You're just building your best team.
I know, but then any team that you would have, there has to be a counter. In other words, somebody could just stack up against you and that's the thing that I despise.
You got to figure out who you're going in with.
All right.
Oh, I gotta get our
now. Now? Hold on. There are other
story.
I want to hear it. There are other iterations of some of these Pokemon. Are we just
original, like red, blue, yellow?
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So, have you ever heard of a movie called The Scout?
No.
1994 is when this movie came out.
Okay.
And it starred a young Brendan Fraser. Which, by the way, if I said Brendan Fraser, what movie do you automatically think of?
He's a pitcher, isn't he? And
yeah.
Either The Mummy and a little scene movie called
George
A
of the
Blast.
Jungle.
No,
That's
I think of a blast. Have you ever seen A Blast from the Past? Oh, dude, you gotta stop everything right now and watch this movie. It's he has
podcast.
Still like Christopher Walken is his dad in like the 1960s and stuff, and he's really into like the Cold War's coming, and he builds a bunker. And they're hearing that like the Cuban Missile situation's not going good, and he takes his family down into the bunker. Same time he does that, an airplane crashes on top of their house. So everybody thinks they died, and they feel it, and they think the bombs have started. So his mom is pregnant. Brendan Fraser's mom is pregnant, and he's born down in that bunker.
How old is Brendan Fraser in this movie?
I think he's down there for 35 years because that's how long nuclear fallout is.
Okay.
So he basically, after 35 years, he's only known his mom, his dad, and a 60s way of living.
Oh, you're saying his mom was pregnant with him?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, and they went into the bunker. Christopher Walken's his dad, and his dad leaves one day, discovers the new world, and it's like terrible, and comes back, and they think it was like mutants and everything like that. And he goes up to go get more supplies for them to come down and stuff like that, and it's like this child, basically, 35-year-old man-child, like he goes into a pawn shop to exchange, and his dad has all these baseball cards. And he's like, how much for this Mickey Mantle?
Right.
And these guys trying to rip him off and stuff like that. Great movie. You should watch it sometime.
Well, okay, so it sounds like you might know this movie, and you might even know the mess-ups. For our viewers that don't, just let me.
I've never seen The Scout. I just have like a photographic weird memory with movies. It's
okay. So Brendan Fraser is a pitcher. So he's a pitcher, and there's a scout for the Yankees that just keeps on striking out. No pun intended. He keeps on missing on prospects, right? So he goes to like, I don't know. I briefly read it. But he goes to like Mexico, and for some reason finds Brendan Fraser, who's an American. I don't know if he's in the league down there or what. I think Brendan Fraser had like a rough childhood, so maybe he escaped down to Mexico is what it was. But anyway, Al is the scout's name, and he brings him back, and he plays for the Yankees, right? So I don't know much of the story, but the bottom line is, towards the end, the Yankees end up making the World Series against the St. Louis Cardinals, okay? Now, again, Steve is Brendan Fraser's character's name. He's got, like, bad childhood memories, and it gives him, XYZ, anxiety, whatever. So he, for some reason, has to start Game 1 in the World Series as his debut. Like, that's his first game that he's ever going to pitch in the majors. All right? Before the game, he gets all shook up, doesn't want to pitch. He goes up.
Shocker.
He goes up and stands on the top of Yankee Stadium Al, the scout, who hasn't proved himself at this point because he's never pitched, sends a helicopter to go get him. So the helicopter lands on top of Yankee Stadium where Brendan Fraser is, and Al's like, you know what, if you don't want to pitch, that's fine, just get in the helicopter, we want you to be safe. And then Brendan Fraser's like, oh, that's selfless. Like, now I want to pitch for you. So then he goes down to pitch against the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 1 of the World Series. So the best of the best at that point. He pitches a perfect game. 27 strikeouts on 81 pitches. Nobody makes contact, and he doesn't pitch a ball. 81 pitches is the minimum you could strike out everybody.
What executive? I was like, you know what? I like it. Green lighted immediately.
Dude, but they win 2-0, and he hits 2 solo home runs.
So
at the American League, where there's a DH.
So this confirms my argument I always make against LeBron James about hold on. So I think if Brendan Fraser's character in that
I will win, by the way.
Oh, okay, cool. If Brendan Fraser's character died after that game, I think he's the greatest player to ever play baseball.
Okay.
Okay.
Definitely the greatest game.
I think he's the greatest player ever. You can't play a better game. Like, his peak was at a level that is literally has never been done.
And never will be replicated.
And never will be replicated. So I've always said, I don't care about longevity at all. I said if Victor Wembanyama this year had come in, averaged 100 points a game, 50 rebounds, the Spurs went 82-0, won the championship, won every single game, and then Victor Wembanyama died in a plane accident, he'd be the greatest player to ever play. And I was like, one season is enough to make you the great. And in this guy's case, one game is enough.
Dude, 81 strikes.
That's the dumbest thing.
Nobody made contact.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing. I couldn't even laugh because
they had to know strikes were coming because he hasn't thrown a ball for 6 innings.
Well, hold on. Just because they swing and miss doesn't mean it couldn't have been a ball.
Okay. I don't think that's where the movie went.
Well, yeah, it's definitely not thinking that hard. Hey, on this Pokemon thing, I'm having a thought.
All right.
I think we should take Mew and Mewtwo out of discussion.
Okay, so 149.
I could also make the argument that you should take the legendary birds out.
All right. Yeah, because there's only 3.
It just makes it more compelling because while there are more powerful characters, there is nothing that is insanely overpowered at that point.
Okay. So
how do you want to decide who gets first pick?
If you can tell me, what was the even or odd on what the total score was of the Iowa-West Virginia game. If you get it, you go. If you miss it, I go.
Odd.
64-54. Even.
That was a little lower scoring than I was predicting. So, anyway. All right.
Clark didn't play well. Dude, Clark did not play that well this weekend.
So
the
do you
first pick, I almost don't want... I think I need to defer. Because the first pick is such a big thing.
If you want to pick, go ahead, because I already know who I'm taking number 1.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, all right. You're very confident, which makes me even more nervous. Should we take out Eevee's Evolutions too, since they're kind of...
No, because they're not overpowered. They're just a different type.
Yeah, I think at this day and age, you can't not take. Even though I don't think he's the best, but I don't think you can't not take Charizard as the number 1 pick.
So he would have been my number 2.
I mean, he's too valuable, so that's where I'm...
Yeah. So I get 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going... my number 1 is Dragonite.
I knew it.
Dragonite is probably the most powerful on the list. That's the thing. I know what so many of these become afterwards. I don't know if you know this. I got really into Pokemon Go for a while. It's a long story.
Yeah, me and you played together.
Oh, yeah.
We went to Mount Orb, and we drove around for hours, which is not what the game was intended for.
Nope. It was meant to walk. My number 2 is going to be... See, and I'm not picking to fight you, right?
Correct.
Snorlax.
Wow. It's off the beaten path.
Snorlax is a stud. Snorlax
Got
is
a lot
very...
of HP. Mm-hmm. All right. I think with my next pick, I'm going to go with Alakazam.
I like that one.
And with my third pick, I think I need to go with... I should have thought about this a little bit before I went with it. I think I'm going to go with... You're going to make fun of me. I hate this so much. I wish we wouldn't have done this now.
I have so many,
I'm gonna go with Onyx. Is what I'm gonna go with.
That's a horrible pick. That is a horrible pick. This is him
and Snorlax are just not that they're against each other.
So here's my thing. I can't believe I'm just leaving this out there, but Blastoise and Venusaur are both on the board still.
Yeah.
And while I just wonder if you will take my other pick and if I can get it later.
I messed up. I see you. I should have picked. Can I get back? Can we get one?
No.
Can we get one mulligan?
Nope. We could do 10 if you want. We could stretch the team out to 10.
No, it's not that. It's just he's going to be gone. You only get 6, man. 6.
Well, I'm going to... All right. I am going to go against my own better judgment. Man,
I already typed down who you got.
I just don't want you to have Charizard and Blastoise. But
right.
There's somebody I would rather have than Blastoise.
You got 2 picks.
Give me Venusaur and Blastoise. If I come back, I'll get him in the end.
All right. I'm taking Gengar.
Okay.
Clutch pick. I need... Man, taking the 3 birds out was...
I know. It makes it much more... Well, it's because they're such obvious picks. That's why you don't have them.
I think I'm going to go Gyarados.
You son of a gun. That was my one. That was my one that I wanted to take over Blastoise.
Yeah, it was either him or Blastoise.
Yeah.
I can't believe Gyarados slipped that far, actually. To 9?
Yeah, I think he's the only reason. I would have taken Blastoise and Gyarados, but then I'm extremely water heavy, so I took Venusaur to.
All right, these are the last 2 here.
Yeah, so you have taken Gengar and Alakazam, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Clutch. There's still one on there that's.
There's
right
a
up that
couple
alley.
that are. So I think one is going to. I think this is really going to throw you off.
Okay.
Let me do some deep thought here.
No,
because Hypno's not on that level. All right, so because I don't care who you pick after this is kind of what I'm thinking. Lapras is a great choice. Rhydon is a fantastic choice. Machamp. I've always thought Nidoking and Nidoqueen were drastically underrated.
You just had to take time to get them leveled up.
But, one that I think I'm going to pick that I think is really underrated because also has Psychic, has a really diverse moveset. Executor or whatever.
Yeah.
Really diverse moveset. And then, the one thing about this is, other than Zapdos, the electric type Pokemon are insanely weak. So it's Raichu and Pikachu. Yeah, they're not very good. Jolteon's alright. So it's like you almost take electric stuff off the table on this. And so my final decision is coming down to Rhydon, Machamp, Nidoking, Nidoqueen. Then we're gonna go. Machamp. I'm gonna go Machamp. So I got Dragonite, Snorlax, Blastoise, Venusaur, Machamp, and Execute. Yeah, I like my team.
Dude,
No!
See, if you had a mulligan.
No, it's not that bad because I could train some people in some specific directions, so it's fine.
So I was on Machamp. I also always enjoyed Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan.
Yeah, but they only have they're just not they don't have any evolutions.
No, but they're fun.
They're all right.
Pinsir and Scyther were clutch.
Yeah, but once again, no evolutions. Like, I think there are. So you have like the three original starters: the Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard. Dragonite, I think, is on a separate level. I think Snorlax is on a separate level from everybody else. I'd say the same with Gyarados. And then you start getting into, I would argue that the next two strongest are probably Lapras, man. Lapras is really strong. But Gengar and Alakazam are very, very strong choices. Like, they're not superstar players, but if they're your third or fourth best, that's really strong.
Wow. I'm trying to think. What do I kind of need?
I didn't get fire.
So
I didn't get fire. That's what I missed. Yeah. But,
who are you going to go with?
Machamp, because once again, after Charizard, like, if you're not going Moltres, there's no other great option. Like, Arcanine's alright. I'd rather have Arcanine than Rapidash.
Magmar.
This has got, but once again, I like the non-evolution guys, like, just don't do anything for me. Like, I gotta be honest, of all the, like, okay, if I'm just ranking from top to bottom of the people that we had the ability to pick, I still think Dragonite's 1. I'm going Charizard 2. I think Snorlax and Gyarados are 3, 4. And then probably I think Venusaur, Blastoise, Lapras, Gengar are all that next tier. And then you take a step down. Alakazam I don't consider on the same level as Gengar. But
okay.
Yeah. This has gotten like insanely
we've thought about this a lot more than our movies.
Yeah. This was a 20-minute segment. I just want to point that out. You get on me we just talked about Pokemon on a grown man podcast.
Okay.
Like, can we do another draft to redeem ourselves?
Think about who watches this. This is all people who grew up with Pokemon.
People who have not cared about Pokemon in 24 years.
So what a way to bring it back.
What a way to bring it back, yeah.
Okay, I know that you don't like non-evolution people, but I'm going with somebody who...
Oh, are you not done?
No, I got one more.
Oh, okay. You have at it.
I'm going with somebody, and again, you're just going to hate on it, but...
Scyther? Or no?
Pinsir is who you're thinking.
I was thinking of Scyther.
I'm going to go with somebody who's got a lot of HP, and his moves are deadly against everybody, because he's a normal. You want to try to guess who it is?
A normal?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's Aerodactyl or the one that's right next to him, Kabutops or whatever, but...
Nope. They're both
I
wrong.
don't know. Go ahead.
Tauros.
Okay. My team just wiped the floor.
Charizard.
You have a bull on your
Alakazam
team, bro.
and Gengar. You're in trouble right off the bat with those two.
Okay, I have the strongest. I have arguably two of the top strongest three. I don't even know if it's arguable.
With who? Dragonite, and who's your other second?
Snorlax. Snorlax is a stud.
How can you put Snorlax that far above Onix when they do the same stuff?
He's insanely far above Onix. Snorlax is such a badass that he has a move where he falls to sleep, and you just pound away at him, and he just keeps getting strong. And he wakes up, and he's like, I'm tired of messing with you. And literally, that's a thing. He's so amazing that he can just sleep, and he's just like, he's getting hit, he doesn't even realize, and he's like, oh, you know what, I think I'm just getting stronger again. That was a moveset.
Dude.
Yeah, what happens if Onix goes to sleep?
He probably gets drunk.
Yeah, exactly, he's done. Erosion.
Do you remember Doug Trio's dig? How good that move was?
Yeah, but then you just fly. And he comes up. And when he comes up...
How many of your people can fly besides Dragonite? 0 is the answer.
Yeah.
Snorlax can't. Blastoise can't. Venusaur, Executor.
Here's the thing. Here's one of the problems you have. There are very few things that are super effective to Dragon, and you have none of them.
Yeah, I agree. Dragon is only... when we were talking about people that were...
Did you take Lapras?
No.
Lapras was a good choice against Dragonite. So unless you teach Gyarados Ice Beam, because Ice is
Ice Beam is his middle name.
Can we go on to the next topic?
Ice Beam,
I'm so done talking. I'm so done with this part of the. Give me another topic. Let's keep going for a minute. I'm not done.
Something that you did a long time ago, and I don't even remember if you know that you did this.
This is scary.
There's a lot that you did a long time ago. Do you remember when you and Jess were having one of your debates that you guys constantly had, and you were talking about if you could name episodes of South Park by their title? And he was reading the description.
Yeah.
And you did really well. Jess was trying to play like you didn't.
I think it was like the first 8 seasons. Yeah, I have a really weird me and my daughter still do it today. And my wife cannot believe it, but there's quiz shows on YouTube, and you can pick movie soundtrack, play the soundtrack for 5 seconds, and I guess what it is, everything. It's a weird thing that I have with movies and TV. I don't even had to have watched it, and if I have, that was always something I used to do when I was younger. I would hear something downstairs. I'd be like, "Oh, hey, you're watching this." I was just trying to show off. But it's it's a weird. I'm not super smart, but I have an unbelievable recall and memory.
Yeah.
And I've decided to just waste so much of that potential on things that don't matter in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, it's unbelievable how stuff like that will just come to you. So I thought it'd be fun to do 5-10 episodes. I'll read the description. I
want you to know I have not even thought or attempted this since I was 16 years old.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I thought it was cool back in the day. So it'd be interesting to see how well you do.
This is a test right here.
All right. Do you want to just name them off, or do you want me to?
Well, you have to give me a description.
Okay.
And it has to be an episode within the first 8 seasons.
Okay, I'm gonna skip. I'm not gonna go.
Should we do? You name the title of the episode, and I tell you what it's about.
Because I know you can do that. I know
I was trying to make it easier on myself.
All right. This is season 1, episode 1.
Cartman gets an anal probe.
Okay.
Wow.
Dude, why do you know that? Where is that stored in your brain that you just pulled that out of
I just knew what the first one's easy. It's I just knew what the first one was.
All right.
Because they do a second one later on, and it's a rerun where the aliens are actually part of a TV show and stuff, and they're getting into reruns. Yeah.
Okay.
episode 2, same season. You don't know it?
I need a description. Yeah, I'm not at the point where I could just do it, yeah.
Stan's Uncle Jimbo and his friend Ned take the 4 boys on a hunting trip to the mountains. Stan's father, a geologist, discovers that the mountain is a volcano about to erupt and convinces the townspeople to dig a trench for diverting the lava.
I don't know. I've fallen off.
Volcano.
I'm really... That would make sense. Yep.
Okay.
Don't know that I've ever seen that episode. Go like seasons 5 through 8 would be like a real sweet spot for me.
Okay. I gotta get to season 5. That was season 1. The way you pulled out that first episode was unbelievable.
Thank you. Plus, some of the earlier episodes might get pretty raunchy in their titles.
Yeah, well, you already said one.
Nah, that one's not nearly as raunchy as the one I was thinking of.
But... I know. I was reading through. I was like, no, I gotta skip some of these.
Yeah.
When a crime drama. This is season 1 episode or season 5 episode 1.
Little Crime Stoppers.
No.
Ah, dang. Sorry, you said crime, and I was trying to sound cool.
When a crime drama on TV airs an episode using the curse word, the S word, uncensored.
It's Night of it. Something like that?
No. I'm not going to give you something that you can cuss in.
Oh. Okay.
The town popularizes the word, which causes people to die from the plague, and the boys with the assistant from Chef attempts to break the chanting chatter of the word.
Isn't this the one where the knights and there's like a...
I have no idea. It hits the fan. IT. It hits the fan.
That's so aggravating. Because as soon as you said it, I knew it. And this segment's going nowhere fast.
When Cartman is conned by Scott Tinnerman, who convinces Cartman that
I already...
I just said his name, Scott Tinnerman.
I know the entire thesis and breakdown of this entire episode where he feeds the kids' parents to him in Chile at the ChiliCon Carnival. Scott Tinnerman must die.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
A little play on word of John Tucker must die.
Well, it was before that, but yes.
Was it? No way.
Look up what's the year you see there right there?
2001.
John Tucker Must Die is 2006.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
See? You look cool by knowing that, but you don't know the titles like you used to.
Okay.
I thought you were going to fly through these. It's kind of disappointing. I'm like...
Alright, let me redeem myself. Give me 3 more.
Alright, 3 more. Season 6, episode 7. I'm throwing you a softball here. Conclusions. Butter discovers that all of his plots for destroying the world have been done before in the animated sitcom The Simpsons.
The Simpsons did it.
The Simpsons already did it, but I will accept your answer. I will accept.
Was the previous episode The Simpsons did it?
No. Professor Chaos is it. Like, we should just stop at the end of episode 1 because...
It was. I mean, that's like that's a clip.
It was pretty insane. Okay. No, you'll get that one. Dude, when did they switch to 15 episodes?
I don't know. The last few stuff, like, they've been doing specials. Like, once again, you deleted it the last one, but I can't even say it. The last special they did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna...
In the 100th episode of the series, the boys are caught in the middle of a brutal town fight between the supporters of the war in Iraq and the people against it.
Isn't it I'm a Little Bit Country?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Back on track.
Yeah. There's a great musical back and forth during that. I'm a little bit of country. I'm a little bit of rock and roll.
You know that's a real song, right?
I'm a little bit country?
Yeah.
If it is, like, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, they didn't make that song up. That's a real song.
All right. Oh, okay.
Let's say this is it. Like, you either know your stuff or you don't, purely based on this one.
All
you
right.
can actually give me the episode number and I'll read it. This is season 8.
Just pick one. I'm good. Season 8, I feel really confident. I've probably watched the episodes in Season 8 like 10 times.
The boys' school news show is in competition against a rival.
Yeah, and they start taking cough syrup and stuff like that. Oh, I don't think it's. Oh, isn't it? It's the name of their ship.
I would guess this is not the name of their show. That's a pure guess. Do you want me to read the full description?
Go. I know exactly how this episode goes because Clyde has another competing show during it where it's just Craig, yeah, animals laughing or staring at the camera and stuff like that with a close wide angle lens is like the thing. And go ahead.
I mean, the boys' school news show is in competition against a rival television program created by Craig. Like you said the description just now. Quest
for ratings.
There you go.
Son of a gun.
Dude, C+? I mean, you know a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you tell... The thing is, if you tell... Just here, pull anything from any season ever. And give me the title, and I'll probably describe it for you.
Okay, that's fair. Let me do Season 3.
Okay.
I just typed in Season 3, so that obviously...
Yeah.
Like, literally, just Season 3. South Park Season 3. Okay. The title of this season is... Or the title of the show is... Now, remember, I don't know what these are.
I'll try to...
Let's go with Hooked on Monkey Phonics.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Hooked on Monkey Phonics.
Don't look it up.
Well, how did you pick, like...
I can give you a clue. Don't look it up.
No, dude, there's no... I mean, I'm not getting this. Yeah, I could have... No, dude, you might have picked the one... I could have... Oh, dude, I don't know that I've ever seen this episode.
There's no way. There's no way that's true.
I don't think I have, man.
I don't think that's true.
All right, well, this is a failure. Let's move on. Yeah, I hope you have another topic that I can redeem myself.
I thought that was the big... I thought that was the big finale. Something we'll briefly touch on.
Give me one more.
No,
I'm begging.
I'm so disappointed in you.
You can edit stuff out. Give me one more.
I don't want it. I want the people to see who you truly are, because it's disappointing. What's your kids going to think?
Let's play one of those YouTube games on the air.
You can't pull up YouTube. Riverside has it blocked.
Oh, that's stupid. I don't like Riverside anymore.
Okay, so...
Yeah, what's Riverside going to do when I just aim my camera at the YouTube?
Wait a minute. Okay, so just real quick. If the other 50%... I saw this, and it's interesting. And again, I know Avengers, but this is in-game and before. There you go. So this is right up your alley. If the other 50% got dusted, what are our chances of redeeming or of getting back?
Wait, what do you mean the other 50%? Oh, you mean the ones that didn't get dusted?
Correct.
So I'm going to take this in a different direction because
let's say I know Doctor Strange said only one way.
Yeah, let's pretend. Yeah. So here's why I'm going to say this. And in retrospect, I was incorrect. But I'm going to take this in a brief tangent. I originally, when I left Infinity War, thought the correct way for the universe to move forward was actually to take out the older heroes and allow the new ones to figure it out and make it so that when they bring them back and they have saved the world from Thanos, the older characters can then ride off into the sunset knowing that the world is in good hands.
Yeah.
So, like, the original, like, I thought Hulk and Iron Man and Captain America and a lot of your older guys with a few older mentors, like, you could have kept Strange around, like, the new mentors for the next series of Avengers stuff. So, like, Spider-Man doesn't go. And, Thor probably sticks around maybe because you need probably Thor's gone. You keep Banner in limbo where maybe the Hulk's not around. Captain Marvel's kind of your big hitter. Black Panther, they have to figure out how to bring him back, how to do everything, how to defeat Thanos. I thought, now having said that, what they decided to do, which obviously they knew what they were going to do at the time, was so much better, because what they knew that we couldn't have known was that it really was like a send-off, a final send-off. Or, and this is my other big thing, actually make that the end of several of the characters when the snap happened, and there is no coming back.
Okay.
And you're like,
as well as 50% of the world.
No, I know. But Thanos won, and it's deafening. And, like, Iron Man dies in that moment. Let's say you bring Cap, you bring Thor, Hulk's gone, Spider-Man's around, Doctor Strange is around, and it is really realizing, like, hey, this is a permanent thing. Because one of the problems with so many and shows and TV and everything is there are no stakes. And that was the coolest thing in the world, is you left Infinity War, and you got 18 months, a year until the next one comes out. And it's like the stakes at that time are completely real, and as long as there's multiverses and time travel and all this stuff that you can just tap into, nothing's real. Nothing ever matters and or is real. Like, Tony Stark, there's a billion other Tony Starks out there because of multiverses. And in an infinite multiverse, there is another Tony Stark out there that is so insignificantly different from our Tony Stark, but in just the smallest possible way. Like, he's an inch shorter. Like, that is something that would, in an infinite multiverse. So it doesn't really matter that he's gone. And it is.
Do you think if, like, you know, and there's talk because the MCU's thinking, like, how do we bring fans back? Like, they're like, do we bring another Tony Stark from another multiverse? How much does that cheapen his sacrifice to what he did, even if it's not technically him?
You make good movies. You have good characters. You make good movies. You write good scripts. You don't rush stuff out.
So don't need Iron Man.
No, man. If you look at the list before Iron Man 1 was made of most popular superhero characters in the world, I don't know. Yeah, and then Batman, Superman, now obviously they don't have them, but I don't know that Iron Man is a top 10 character in the world.
Yeah, I think RDJ made him more famous. Made Iron Man more famous.
The movies, and I would argue that, like, Captain America was a joke. There's a guy who was going around punching Hitler, and they do that in the first movie. No, but seriously, like, Chris Evans.
Just the way you said it.
Yeah, but that's like what he was, you know what I mean? And it's good movies, good character development. Like, the Captain America's, the Winter Soldier is such a great movie. And, there are, I don't know. I think the movies make the characters. Like, the reason of the original Big Six, right? 2 of them didn't have their own movies, and then 4 of them did. Yeah. Of the 4 who had their own movies, what 2 were the most popular?
Captain America and Iron Man.
Who had the best movies of those 4 characters?
Captain America and Iron Man.
Okay, so it's the movies that make the characters, not the characters that make the movies. For example, Batman and Superman are arguably the 2 greatest characters of anything. They're movies, for the most part. It's why Batman is such a big deal. Unfortunately, the thing that you can say that you've seen as a Captain America fan and you've seen as an Iron Man fan is you've seen what their characters actually are capable of in a movie.
Yeah.
The thing that you have never seen as a Batman fan is a comic-accurate Batman on screen. You've seen bits and pieces, real little bits and pieces, but you've never seen a comic book accurate Batman. And it kills me because, to me, is like, I remember, like, when I was really obsessed with Batman, it's like, we as humanity should all want to be Batman. Someone who is just on a relentless path of self-betterment to become the absolute perfect that humanity can be from a physical and mental side. And if you think about what that looks like that's the thing that, while it's not possible, obviously, like, it's not possible because, like, Batman is supposed to be as strong as the world's strongest men and as fast as Usain Bolt, and be able to jump as high as the highest high jumpers, and be able to fight like Bruce Lee, and
Logan
better. He's a close second. But no, and that's the thing, and he's supposed to, like, he's gotten like 16 master's degrees and degrees from college and like all this stuff, and he leaves when he's a boy and literally trains for 18 years relentlessly. Like, in every conceivable action of betterment to pursue his goal. And he comes back and then still continues to train through all that. And still gets better. So it's like, if you're the smartest man in the world, which he borderline is, the fastest man in the world, the strongest man in the world, and you have practiced all these different techniques to a master level, that's what you're supposed to be. And it's very aggravating to not see. Like, you have, like, the closest Batman that I've ever seen on screen to comic Batman is actually Ben Affleck's Batman in Batman vs. Superman. There's that warehouse scene where he detonates from the bottom, comes up, throws the stuff on the guns explodes, and just whoops, like, beats a room full of people, and he just beats them all effortlessly as a trained ninja who is insanely big, strong, fast, has gadgets, and a bulletproof suit would do. But, like, comic book Batman doesn't have a bulletproof suit. Like, he even says, he's like, I have to be fast and agile, and this all weighs me down. Why do you think I put a giant bat on the center of my chest? It's the only area that I have protection. He's trying to get them to aim there.
Yeah.
And it's like, so that's the thing that bothers me. But so anyway, the movies make the character. Like, the Captain Marvel movies, I haven't even watched the second one. The first one's alright, it's fine. But it's the movies that make the character. And I think it all starts with a great script, even more important than the actors. And we're just turning out basically AI-generated scripts, and it's not living up. It's like you set the bar so high. Anything less, but there's so many different ways they can do great stuff that doesn't involve just, everybody jokes about it. Everything devolves to a sky beam. A sky beam and the world's going to end, and that's how everything is. You don't have to get that level of stakes on everything the world doesn't have to end in every movie, basically.
Right. I've always thought that, like, what you're saying is, like, every Avengers movie, no matter who it is, no matter whose movie it is, the world is going to end in that movie. So why isn't it the Avengers every single movie? Because, like, if it's that catastrophic, then everybody would be there.
In Captain America,
I always thought that was kind of weird in that aspect.
In Captain America Winter Soldier, literally, if the Hulk is around for 2 seconds, he jumps up in the air and destroys those helicarriers, and the entire thing's done.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally a matter of moments, and it's like, oh, that was quick. Thanks.
Yeah, so that's what, to your point, everything doesn't have to be to that level, but
whatever. So.
That's a discussion for another day. Okay, so here's what I think. I think that we're going to start ending shows with two things. One, the very last is I'm just going to give you a quick question, and you're going to give me just a 5-second soundbite of whatever it is. Whatever your answer is.
5 is hard to get.
You're going to have playoff music, so it's going to be tough.
Okay.
But before that, we have dad joke of the day.
I don't know. I think it was my cat in the litter box or something. I don't know what that was.
That cat hates me. Why does that cat hate me?
It can detect bad people.
If you put it up to the screen right now, it would start hissing. I haven't seen that cat in 10 years, and it still hates me.
It can smell it through the phone.
Dad joke of the day.
Dude, I have a guy at work that does these every day. You're more than welcome to do this, but I've heard. Go ahead.
Well, if you get it, you get it.
Oh, is this my question?
No.
Oh, this is the first thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm sorry. You're not shining the bright light on me. I'm getting bored.
What? Have I talked in the last 5 seconds? I'm bored.
Nope. Yeah.
What do you call a kangaroo's lazy Joey?
Lazy Joey?
A pouch potato. Pouch potato, because it's got a pouch. I thought you liked dad jokes. Obviously, what jokes do you tell your kids? Never mind.
My kids are 5. I look at them and I go booger, and they're like, "We're not funniest thing I've ever heard, Dad."
Dude, at what point do you think your kids are going to grow up to realize you're not the funniest person? Mine thinks I'm the funniest person. Eventually they're going to get to
Aren't we doing an entire podcast around pretty much the fact that I'm comedic gold? So it's no, they're always going to have... We went to a daddy-daughter dance, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to dance with my friends. I was like, you're missing a giant opportunity.
All right. Your send-off question. I know we talked about it a little bit, but if you hit that lottery at $1.1 billion...
Yep.
What you got? $1.1 billion.
I can barely hear you, but I can't. I can no longer hear you.
You don't have to hear me. Just $1.1 billion. What are you doing with it?
But I don't hear the question. What's happening?
1.1. We'll see you next time. We got
I didn't hear the question. I want to answer the question.